Welcome to a very special Thursday edition of Yelling and Screaming. We are just about 90 minutes away from kickoff for Thursday night football between the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. Sean, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, not too bad. Sorry we had to adjust the schedule on you guys. I know you expect our content to come on Sundays right before the game, get your adjustments made. But we wanted to make sure we had an episode for you this week, and we decided to push it right before Thursday night football so we can get a full slate and cover everything. So it's actually a pretty good treat for you guys this week.
So let's start there. Thursday night lead in. Obviously, both these teams played on Thanksgiving. I've been talking about this one for the whole season, pretty much. We saw the schedule, and I think it works. You know, it's a good spot for these teams to be, where you don't have a short week, you don't have a long week, you just have kind of your
A
standard
regular
week.
week. Yeah.
So I really liked that. But we saw two very different teams on Thanksgiving between the Cowboys and the Lions here. Let's start on the Cowboys side of the field. Is Dallas for real, Sean, or was Thanksgiving kind of a fluke?
I'm not sold on Dallas being for real. We looked at a game where they won by a field goal, or they won by 3 points, if you will. And they played definitely a good game overall against a Chiefs team that is really, really, really desperate at this point. So, I mean, kudos to Dallas. You know, quarterback play was incredible. You really want to see that leadership, and I definitely felt like they got it this past week. But I'm still not sold on them overall. It just doesn't feel like this is it just doesn't feel like this team is as well rounded as it's looked in the last couple weeks. I'm just waiting for the armor to crack. Like I feel like they caught some better teams in some tough spots, and so I think that this week right now will put them in a really good position if they can get a win here. But I just don't feel like they're as they're as good of a team as they've looked in the past couple weeks.
I think you can't accidentally beat the Chiefs and the Eagles in a 5-day span. There's something to this Cowboys team. You know, we've beat them up about their defensive ability. But the offense is moving the ball well. Dak looks, I'll stop short of poised. He looks comfortable. They're not losing themselves games, which is something we've seen from the Cowboys before. They'll shoot themselves in the foot and blow a game. However you slice it, wins over the best quarterback of all time and the defending Super Bowl champion in a very tight time frame means something. I'm not sure what it is. I don't think they beat the Lions tonight, but Dallas is not that far out of playoff contention, where if they can piece together complete games like we've seen from them a few times this year, and not making the mistakes on offense that usually damn them, there might be something to this Cowboys team.
So here's my caveat for you, right? Look at Dallas' schedule, and they've only won one game on the road.
Okay. But it doesn't
Uh,
matter. If you get in the playoffs, does it matter?
well, maybe two games in the road. Yes, it absolutely does. So where you play in the playoffs matters. They've won two games on the road. Those two games were against the Jets and the Raiders. Every other game that they've won, they've been at home. So obviously that plays a part in how your team plays. That, in my opinion, they caught an Eagles team whose offense is in shambles right now. But really, for me, it's going to be more play calling. They caught a Chiefs team who hasn't made any moves significantly in the last two seasons. We watched them struggle offensively last year, and we aren't seeing any improvements on last year's offense. What we are seeing is a worse defense than what we saw last year. Thus, the Chiefs being 6-6, and the Eagles coming off a few weeks where they couldn't put a score on the field to save their lives. So I'm not seeing that Dallas is doing something so great. I think realistically they are playing adequate football to beat teams who aren't doing very well. That's my opinion. We are, again, talking about playing Detroit in Detroit, who's now angry. We're looking at it. I feel like it's going to be an angry Detroit tonight. And I'd like to see, you look at the quarterback comparison and you put them side by side and their numbers are almost identical. So it's going to come down to, in my opinion, how well Detroit's pass rush gets to Dak and makes him makes him double think. Because Dak can turn the ball over when he's not comfortable in that backfield. If this offensive line just kind of manhandles Detroit and keeps them in place, he's going to have a field day. And it's going to be their game.
On the other side of the ball, Amon-Ra St. Brown is active. He will play tonight. We're willing to ask the question, is Dan Campbell's seat hot?
No, I don't see it.
I also said no, but the room's getting hot. The expectations for this team through the roof. The Lions are 7-5, but it's a bad 7-5. They have looked atrocious at times. I think if you lose this game, lose back-to-back home games in December, I think that's when the talk starts. And I don't think it'll substantiate anything, but that's going to be distracting. I think if the Lions lose this one, it's it for the year. This is a burnt year. I don't know that a 7-6 Lions team finds a way into the playoffs in the NFC North.
Ooh, okay. I mean, we can talk about. I think that if they are able to beat out the teams that they have lined up at the rest of the season, even if they lose this game against the Cowboys, they're a pretty decent shot. I don't know how 11-6. If 11-6 is out of the playoffs, they would have to. Everybody else would have to really, really close up this season strong. And if we're talking about that, I mean, at the end of the day, they still have games to win. Like, no matter what happens, even after this game, they got a tough schedule ahead of them, playing against the Bears to close up the season, playing against the Steelers, and playing against the Rams. The Vikings are also nothing to sneeze at because obviously divisional games also weigh so much more. So
as long as JJ McCarthy is the quarterback of the Vikings, they're not beating the Lions. It's not going to happen.
That's fair. But I'm just saying, to close out the season, it's not like they don't have a cakewalk. But if they win all those games, I mean, that definitely looks really good on the resume. I will say that the Cowboys' best chance is to win the division because there's no way that they will make it as a wild card. They just don't have it. They won't have the record to be able to make it as a wild card. So
I mean, they're in the same spot, right? I mean, you can make the same argument for the Cowboys you just made for the Lions. If 7-6 is good enough, 7-5-1 is good enough. They also play the Vikings, they play the Commanders, they play the Giants. Like these teams are the same. The loser of this one, I think, is out, but the winner, the argument's the same. The path is the same. The Cowboys have the Chargers. I think I'd probably argue that the Cowboys have the easier schedule than the Lions do the rest of the way.
The Cowboys do have the easier schedule, but I feel like if the Cowboys win this game and Detroit doesn't win this game, it's going to sit very, very level for the rest of the division, the rest of the season, and they'll probably end up with probably the same schedule. Like just feeling out how the team's play has been going, it seems like those schedules end up being pretty much mirrors. Schedules, but wins and losses end up being pretty much mirrors, and I just don't see either one of them making it at that point. Realistically, I know I say Detroit might have a easier chance if they win out afterwards. I think the Cowboys have to win out. Period. I think the Cowboys' best chances to win the division, but if they won out, period. I mean, we're talking about a 12-5-1 team. That should be playoff bound, easy. But for me,
that wins the division.
That win potentially. I mean, there's still more football to be played, but I don't think that they've already played the Eagles twice, so it's not like they could catch them on that. Eagles are still up 2 games.
2 games.
So yeah. So the Cowboys winning 6 games in a row versus the Eagles winning 4. If they did that, then it wouldn't matter because then you would be matched up. The Cowboys would have that tie, and that tie would break it. So no, that's great. But for me personally, I feel like Detroit still has some divisional games left, and I think that they're playing against teams at the top right there in the NFC where it matters more if they win out, or even if they lost this game to the Cowboys. If they won out, they're playing against stronger teams that are our playoff caliber teams, and I think that'll change the way they might be seeded in for the rest of the season. Maybe the Rams don't maybe the Rams don't shut down so early if they lose to Detroit. You look at some things like that. Like that's what I'm thinking. But in all honesty, both teams, for them, it's must win. Realistically, either one of them is must win, and you're probably right. Whoever loses this game is probably going to be out. I just feel like Detroit has more opportunities to be better, but the Cowboys, you are right. Their schedule was softer. They definitely have an easier shot at having that 12-win season.
So this game is sitting at 3.5. Lions total at 55-5. Who are you picking to win this Thursday night football game?
3.5. No, Lions.
Yeah, I think it's the Lions. I don't know that I'd lay the points necessarily, but I think the Lions win this game, and I think the only way they don't is if they give it away. I like Aiden Hutchinson to get to Dak, and I think the Lions probably win this game by a touchdown.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be really, really fucking hungry. Like I think they're going to see that they need to close the season out right now. And they're just going to put it in gear. And at home, the Lions are 4-2. They play much better at home than they do on the road. So I think that they're really going to be really, really geared up to like just not having a great showing and wanting to prove that they are still one of those better teams or best teams in the NFC. So I think they're going to actually put a good product on the field today.
Our game of the week is an important one for the Lions as well, who stay in the NFC North. This game was flexed. Bears-Packers is actually a 225 game. The NFL pulled the Bengals-Bills game into the noon slot because no one gives a shit about the Bills when they're bad. But game of the week, Bears-Packers. Sean, is the little brother narrative dead?
I think it's pretty dead. You're looking at two very strong teams right now from this division, and I feel like this is that clash that those old school football fans have been waiting for. Like there's just some teams that we know from the 50s, 60s, 70s, their old pedigree if you're a real football fan. And right now, looking at these two teams, seeing how gritty they are on the field, it just feels like it's going to be one of those type of games. Playing at Lambeau in December, Bears, Packers, I think it's just going to be one of those games that the tape is held for years to come. In my opinion. So I'm excited about this game.
Yeah, I'm pumped up. Obviously, growing up around Chicago, the Bears are awful historically for as long as I've been alive, with very few exceptions. I think the reason I'm so
gross man in there.
Any real Bears fan will tell you if Orton plays that Super Bowl, they have a ring. And Jay Cutler was better in both of them. But
he fleeced the shit out of them. The biggest fleece in the NFL. NFL period.
Him and Marshall were good for a while, though. The reason I like this one is because the Bears secondary is a little banged up, but we are essentially at full strength on both sides in this game. The Packers and the Bears are healthy. The offense and the defense is working the way it is supposed to. So this game matters in a way that it doesn't when players are injured or there's a lame duck quarterback in Chicago. And I think depending on what happens here, this one was going to hurt the Packers fans. And it should, because this is a real Bears team. This is a first place Bears team with a lot of wins under their belt, and everything's going well. They're playing really well. But on the other side of the ball, the Packers are almost as good. The Packers are having a great year. Their system just works. Oh God, I just thought if any Packers fans tell me they're not at full strength because one of their shitty tight ends isn't playing, I take your football card away. You're not a real
Wait a
football
minute.
fan.
Wait, who's not playing?
The
Go
dude that's
ahead.
out. The dude that's out. It
Reed?
doesn't matter.
You're
Oh, yeah, they're banged up at wide receiver, but that doesn't matter. Their wide receivers are like out of a cereal box every year. Like Donald Driver sucked. Greg Jennings wasn't that good. Like, sorry, Packers fans. Like, they're all interchangeable. All the guys on the team now, all going all the way back to 1961. Like, all the receivers have been the same. Remember when the hoodie was the biggest wide receiver, not the guy wearing it, the actual hoodie. Yeah, like it doesn't matter who's a wide receiver for the Packers.
not wrong.
For this one because this is a big game, and Chicago's not coming up to Lambeau to keep this close, right? Like there's such a monkey on the back of the Bears. Like the Bears need to win this by 30, and it like silences a generation. It's like, hey, we're back. I don't think it has any way to get that crazy. I think this game will be tight.
I think this game is between. I'm excited, but it's weird. So I don't know about anybody else's opinion, but I think this game is between Jordan Love and Ben Johnson. I think whoever does better in their performance is who wins this game. I think that the Bears are a team that the Bears to me remind me of the Pistons. They're a team of guys who aren't necessarily the best at what they do, but they play so well together as a team. They're covering for each other. We're looking at them change their style of play to fit the game. It's not like obviously they're putting up 200 yards rushing every week. They're also not putting up 350 yards passing every week, but they're figuring out ways to win games that are tight, and just play the style of football that you expect from a team that's going to be a championship caliber team. Because it's not about winning by 40, 50 points. It's not about winning by 2-3 points. It's about winning, period. And so when you look at them play, they get these games down late, and they make sure they execute when they have to, whether it's offensively or defensively. That one play call that everybody can kind of point back to is where they're making the right call in that time frame. So I'm excited to see if they're able to continue that, playing on the road, playing at one of the most historic stadium in football, one of the meccas of football, the mecca of football, if you will. Let's be real. Playing in a hostile environment in a divisional game against a team who a lot of people thought was going to be the front runner for your division. Coming off a season that was probably disappointing to you, but you felt like you had some movement forward there. I just think this is a big game for them. Like this game right here, the team that wins this, in my opinion, is going to be either it's going to be that team or it's going to be the Rams that wins the NFC. Like that's my opinion.
I'll take you one further. If the Packers lose this game, they don't make the playoffs.
Okay.
You lose at home to the Bears. You go to Mile High. You have the Bears game in Chicago. The Ravens come to town, and then a meaningless game against the Vikings. You could conceivably go 1-4 to close out the season. And losing to the Bears in a massive rivalry game at home when your players, your fans, your ownership has that big brother complex where the Bears are not even a real team. I don't know how the Packers take this game seriously when, for as long as these players have been alive, the Bears have sucked. And all you hear from Packers fans, Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. Brett Favre owned the Bears. Jordan Love has owned the Bears. They're not viewed as on the same level. I think if the Packers get caught here, the blow to the psyche will take them down a notch. You're going to lose to Denver, and then you got to go right back and play the Bears again in Soldier Field. I think losing this game eliminates the Packers from the playoffs. If the Bears lose, they'll still be right here because they lose to the Packers. It's what they do. The loss for this Bears team is not going to be as jarring.
The Bears in this situation is like the Chiefs and the Bills. Like it doesn't matter if you lose in the regular season. So I see what you're saying. I will say this: you made it seem like the Packers are at full strength, and they are not. They are definitely not at full strength. I'll be completely honest here. They are missing some pieces that have been very. What do you mean? They're missing Tucker Kraft.
I don't want to talk about
They're
shitty
missing.
tight ends, man.
They're missing Tucker Kraft.
Just because you overdraft a tight end in the first
Reed
round
is on IR.
twice.
Reed is on IR. Golden and Wicks are both listed as questionable. Again,
okay. Those wide receivers don't even play for another team in the NFL. They're kick returners. Like,
but that's
I'm
what
saying
you
it doesn't matter. Like, next man up.
I'm not disagreeing with you overall. I'm just saying if you are Jordan Love and you're learning your team, because I still think he's learning this team, in my opinion. I think that he's still throwing off that back foot. We talked about it. I still
that's
think
not
so. But
learning the team. It's because he's a shitty quarterback. Throwing off your back foot is not a learning the system problem. It's a Jordan Love what didn't go to a real college problem.
Fair enough, but it's about timing. And if you understand a lot more about when your receivers are coming out of the breaks and where they're going to be hitting and where you need to put the ball, it definitely helps. So I will say this: we can talk about next man up all we want to, but if you're talking about a quarterback having time with his receivers to get their timing to be ideal, this is one of those places where you go, okay, well, they didn't practice this week. They didn't practice last week. You start to add those in there. I'm not excusing him because he should win this fucking game. It's a home game, right? Their team is a good team. They're playing against a team that they've schemed against many a time. Obviously, it's a little bit different, and I think this is where the caveat comes in, and where the Bears have an advantage is that they are very healthy. But realistically, Ben Johnson is still some guy that Green Bay hasn't really schemed against. So it's going to be different. What do you mean?
Where'd he come from?
But he wasn't their coach. He wasn't the head coach. He wasn't the head coach.
Offensive coordinator.
He wasn't the head coach. He didn't get to make all the decisions. OC does he make all the decisions?
I can't think of the Lions coach's name. He doesn't look like he knows how offense works.
Fair enough. Well, look, at the end of the day, the team who wins this game right here is my front runner to win the NFC. I think that's the best that I can give you. I actually have the Bears losing this game, but in a game that's within a score. I got it.
Very torn.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because of my proximity to Bears fandom. Like, I can't imagine the Bears winning this game because it matters so much. The Packers being 6.5 point favorites is insane. Insane.
I think it's insane. So what I'm going to say is this then. Who do you want to take then? You want to take the Packers? I will take the Bears if it means it's a shot.
I have the Bears winning. I can't like. Yeah, I think the Bears win this game. They're the better team. I think the Bears win this game. I'm just struggling with it from a talking about it standpoint. Because it doesn't make any sense to me. But like, I look at the numbers, I look at the tape. The Bears are better than the Packers, and unless the Packers have 7 sacks in this game, the Bears are going to move the ball on them. It's not going to be an embarrassment like the Eagles game, but the Bears will move the ball on the Packers. You know, if they had 180 rushing yards as a team, I wouldn't be shocked by that. But they have to control the clock. They have to have the ball to be able to call plays like that.
If they just decide, if the Bears started putting up 150 plus yards rushing every game to close out the season, I would be dumbfounded because that means the NFL just doesn't want to try anymore. You see that happen one game, you adjust. You see it happen 2 games in a row, you're like, what the fuck is happening? That would mean that the Bears have the best run blocking offensive line of all time if they just start putting up 180 yards a game.
Well, or they're playing against bad defensive lines. The Eagles have been weak all year on the defensive line. The Packers aren't great outside of one guy on pass rush, which makes a huge difference. Don't get me wrong. We've seen the impact, but you can run on the Packers.
You can run on the Packers. You actually have to.
Tracy almost had 100 yards against them. I'm just saying. I think the Bears are better. I think the Bears win this game.
Eagles pass rush has not looked like what it's supposed to. What we expected it to look like for the majority of the season.
I'm talking about run defense. I mean, they got gashed. They
absolutely did. Nothing against that. I just think that we definitely aren't going to see. If we see that game from the Bears, honestly, I don't know what's the weather going to look like that day. What's our forecast? Is it going to be a snowy game? Is it going to be one of those?
Cold and shitty.
Just cold and shitty. Yeah. I mean, in cold weather, you might as well
16 degrees and sunny.
Beautiful. I mean, hey, hand the ball off. What can you ask for? Hand the ball off. No need to be catching in that cold shit. Just hand the ball off. Call it a day. I mean, do you expect who? Okay, so do you think that the Bears will have more rush yards than the Packers? You're thinking 150 plus?
Yeah, no, I think I wouldn't be shocked if they have that number. Okay. I think they win this game, and I think to win this game they have to have more rushing yards than the Packers. I think a realistic number is 120 to 150 in a win. I think that's doable. If it was 180, I wouldn't be blown away by it. I would feel as though it was reasonable in a win, because if you're up, you're going to be grinding clock, and if you're doing it successfully, the yards will come. So, I think a winning Bears effort is 120 rushing yards, and you hold the Packers under 100, maybe 75 yards rushing for the Packers. You get down, start throwing.
I still feel like the same thing applies. At the beginning, I said that my game here is going to be between Jordan Love and Ben Johnson. So at the end of the day, it's going to come down to those two. Whoever has a better performance is who's going to win this game. If Love does a great job,
games,
huh?
Yeah, he's capable.
Yeah, I think for me, it's not about passing yards or passing touchdowns. It's about the intangibles. For me, it's going to be if he stays off the ground. If he escapes and gets the ball where he needs to, on some dump offs, move the chains, it's going to be the smaller little things that really that show me that A, he's really stepped up and decided that he's going to be the guy in this division, but also B, whether or not he's going to win this game. It's going to come down to how well he performs like that, and whether or not whether or not their team schemes well against them. And we're talking about divisional game here anyway, so I expect these teams to be very well acquainted with each other overall. But that's where my fight is right there between those two.
Huge slate of games here. Week 14 has the last of our buys in it. There are some interesting games on the schedule. Some teams trending up, some teams trending down. But the first game we're going to talk about here is all teams trending down. How about Titans Browns? The Cleveland Browns are 4.5-point favorites here, which I think is fair.
Very much so.
I very selfishly hope that the Browns score like 10 times. I need kick return yards. Outside of that, I don't care about this game at all. It's a lost season for the Titans. We're not going to learn anything about Cam Ward. I mean, this season's cooked.
I would love to see a Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders QB battle, where this game is like a 40 to 45. Do you not want to see something stupid like a 40 to 45 game with two teams and Myles Garrett has 8 sacks? But it'd be a fucking Madden game. Like, what are you watching here?
But like, what went in my head when you said Shedeur and Cam QB battle? I'm like, ooh, race to 120 passing yards. These guys suck.
Yeah, but their defenses are also terrible. Minus Myles Garrett. So I would rather see a 40 to 45 game, and get to see some ridiculously athletic football play from some guys, and just have fun with it. Why not? Why not watch a barn burner between these two teams? Why not destroy the over?
Yeah, I'm here for it. Like I said, I need kick returns.
Yeah. So that's fair. That's fair.
Hawks, Falcons. Seahawks won kind of despite their quarterback play in what was essentially a revenge spot, but shut out the Vikings. I think they're a solid playoff team. They can win with their quarterback. They can win without their quarterback. They have a good enough defense. I think they're a solid playoff team if they can get in. It's real tight out west.
The Seahawks will, depending on how well the Rams do, the two of those teams, in my opinion, are the two teams coming out on the opposite side from me on the West Coast to be able to take the NFC. That's one of those two. Seattle's been playing incredible football, more than what I expected from them defensively. Darnold has just been, I mean, we could talk about last week, but overall this season, he's playing good football. And that's what you expected from him that's what they expected from him coming out of Minnesota. So at the end of the day, we really need to see, for me, I need to see Seattle be dominant in this game to show me that they can actually face the Rams, because the winner of that, in my opinion, the winner of that division is the best team in the NFC. If the Bears fall to the Packers, I think overall the winner of that division is probably the best team in the NFC. But we'll see how the rest of the season pans out.
Massive game down in Duval County. Colts go down to play the Jags. This is a game for first place in the AFC South, and means a lot as far as seeding goes. What you got on this one?
I have been really excited to watch the Jaguars play the best football since in the Trevor Lawrence era. Realistically, at home, it's their game to win or their game to lose. We've watched the Colts struggle recently, and we watched the Jags really do what they need to do to close out games. And so it really comes down to who really wants it more this week. So I'm really excited to see the Jags actually take on the Colts. I hope they win. Honestly, I'll probably put them in my trash bin, but I hope they win. I'd like to see the Jags finally look not like the team that overpaid a quarterback like so many other teams in the NFL.
I mean, they're going to have to be firing on all cylinders, because I think JTT gets well over 100 yards in this one. But I don't think that necessarily means that the Colts win.
That's fair.
It should be a good game. This is probably my favorite in the early slate.
Yeah, we could watch the Colts use so much clock and still not win.
I mean, we've seen it.
We have seen it, dude.
Another candidate for shittiest game of the week, the Washington football team and the return of JJ McCarthy. Ew.
Guys named JJ should just be coaches.
But JJ Watt was good.
That's fair. He should also be a coach
in the NFL. JJ Watt or JJ McCarthy.
Obviously, we know which one has more impact on the game. Which one will actually be in the Hall of Fame? Which one deserves their contract?
JJ probably had more rushing touchdowns. Obviously, McCarthy's only got a couple games under his belt, but I think JJ Watt had like 7-8 rushing touchdowns.
Well, which one's going to have more interceptions?
I mean, this game or versus whole career? I don't think JJ Watt threw a couple touchdown passes, but I don't think he ever threw a pick.
There you go.
Saints and Bucks in a game that's way more important for the Bucks. Saints lost a heartbreaker to the Dolphins last week.
Dude.
Fun story. They got a lot of players developing, a lot of young kids getting a chance to play. And the coach is finally not using that trash bag, multi-tool tight end piece of crap, Taysom Hill. So I'm excited to see if the Saints can get on track. But obviously their season is kind of over here. Bucks need a win though.
Bucks do definitely need a win, but honestly, the Saints can make it fun. I love the fact that there's some divisions where we feel so confident about who's the division leader. We feel so confident about what team is going to be the best team, and we start talking about playoffs. Then we look at a team like the NFC South, and we're like, just have fun with it. Who cares? We're every single week, we're I hope a team plays spoiler. I hope that, It's what makes football fun. It's more than just the X's and O's. It's the fandom matters. And so in this game, obviously the Bucks, they really need to win here. I just picked up Mike Evans on my fantasy football team because he's gonna have a hell of a game. He's gonna have a hell of a game at home right now. So I expect this to be 2-score game. Tampa Bay, they really need it.
Do they try to get Evans to 1,000 yards?
They better.
I don't think it's possible, but like Baker doesn't care.
It's possible if you believe.
Dude, I just saying like from a time standpoint, I don't know if he's got enough.
Kevin Johnson's
140 yards.
That's all he needs?
No, he hasn't played all year. He only has 140 yards.
But last time I checked, didn't Calvin Johnson get 329 yards in one game?
Yeah, but he's 32 years old coming off an injury. I don't know. If anybody can get it done, it's Baker. If anybody can get this done, it's Baker.
I think I feel like if you told Baker, he'd be like, I'm looking for him now.
He's got to know. He was talking about the end of last year. They were trying to get him the catch record.
But that was last year, and that was on. We're talking about this season on whether or not it helps their team. So Baker will make the best decision for his team.
Yeah, Steelers Ravens. I have one note on this game. It's fire mediocrity. Fire mediocrity. You can take from that whatever you want.
I'm going to say right now, every week just watching them say whether or not Lamar is or isn't playing doesn't help, because a healthy Lamar is an MVP candidate Lamar, and a semi-hurt or injured Lamar is not worth his weight in salt. So it's tough. It's tough for me because every week I'm just waiting for him to be back to the guy who throws for 228 yards but 4 touchdowns. Like, I'm looking for that guy, and I'm just not seeing it. And I'm not seeing that style. I'm not seeing that style of play. I'm seeing him a little bit slower. I'm seeing him double clutching. I'm seeing him making bad decisions. And I think the injury is just dealing with him. I think this season is shot. I think that obviously the winner of this game wins the division, and that team we'll see in the playoffs lose in the first round. It really is coming down to an injured quarterback versus an old quarterback. And I think that whoever outdoes the other in this game wins the division. But at the end of the day, they're both going to lose in the first round of the playoffs, so it's a wash.
The Steelers suck. Mike Tomlin needs to retire this year so he can be in the Hall of Fame in 7 years, and then we never have to see him again. He's a cheater. He's mediocre at best, and I'm done with him. I'm done with him.
Does he have any Super Bowls?
They got one, right?
Yeah.
They beat the Cardinals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know Big Ben has 2.
Fame coach. He's a cheater, and he's a 500 coach.
Big Ben has 2, doesn't he?
Did they get 2? They won. Hines Ward won. Hines Ward won, and then they get another one after that.
Steelers won the Super Bowl in 2009 and 2006.
Had to gone through Peyton Manning and the Colts, right?
Seahawks in 06.
Interesting.
Seahawks in 06 and Cards in 09.
Was that Russ?
That
no, that's way early. That's way too early.
That's the Hasselbeck. That's the Hasselbeck. Sean Alexander year, I think.
Were they trying to go back to back? Right, the Seahawks. Whatever. That's a long. God, we're old. We're old. Dolphins Jets. The Jets started their revenge tour on Sunday and won with a walk-off field goal that was it barely made it. I like them to keep it going here. Jets going to beat the Dolphins. I'm telling you, man, this team is ran so horrifically they can't even lose right. Jets win.
Honestly, I'll let your Jets win, but I think Miami's going to actually play a decent game here. I think Tua plays weirdly well in games that don't mean shit. I think
Every game.
No. Games that have no impact, like no impact whatsoever. Like it does not matter at all which team wins this game. It's going to be
So
just
like after week 5 for the Dolphins every year.
no. Sometimes the Dolphins play games that matter to other people.
That's
Like the Dolphins playing against the Bills mattered a lot to the Bills, right? The Dolphins playing against the Patriots back in the day meant a lot to the Patriots. It didn't mean very much to the Dolphins, but it meant something to somebody. And I think that's one of their benefits is like they play really well in games where it matters to somebody else, and they just kind of play like shit when they have to play. But I don't know. I must say probably the Jets win this game. I think you might be right on that one. It's a cold weather game. I mean, I think Tua is going to give it a shot, but I don't know if the receiver core is still there. I still see inconsistency from A-Chain and like that in the running back core, and I just don't feel like they have what they need. But maybe this is the game. Maybe he gets jump started with the cold. Maybe his eyes both stay awake. Maybe the concussion doesn't hit him, because honestly, if his eyes are both open, he throws pretty decent footballs. Sometimes when one eye is closed, he throws.
Can you imagine if the fix is put Tua on ice? You literally just stick him in a cooler before the game and he's ready to go. Like, crazier shit's happened, I guess.
Honestly,
I don't know how
sideline
concussions work, but
honestly, sideline. There's an ice bath, and Tua just sits in it in between downs, in between possessions. Tua just sits in an ice bath. Full uniform, everything.
He's done everything else except wear a Guardian cap for the kids. So
didn't he just try? Didn't he just wear one? I thought he just wear one.
Did he really?
I think he wore one once, maybe.
He was bitching about like the weight of it.
It means fucking not enough, bro.
Broncos, Raiders. Can the Raiders get the offense on track? This is probably not the team to try to do it against, but we got to see something from the Raiders here.
No, this is exactly the team to do it against. What I'm hoping is that the Raiders have played the Broncos enough to have been able to scheme successfully against them. Also playing at home. I can't expect anything else because I still feel the same way about the Raiders. And I think the Broncos have a much easier path to a victory here because they have to be one-dimensional. They have to stop one guy. His name is Brock Bowers. If they stop him, anybody else can do whatever they want. I think the Raiders receivers, again, still too small. I think the run game just doesn't have the blocking up front for Genti to really be successful. But if there's anybody that they could scheme well against, it will be a team that they see regularly. You know, they've seen its Sean Payton offense or defense, for the last couple seasons. So maybe
I don't know if they're talented enough to stop the Broncos from scoring.
They can stop them if Max Crosby gets 17 tackles.
Yeah, like 10 of them have to be for a loss. Like he's got to be
17 tackles
in the backfield.
17 tackles, 5 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss.
The Rams come out to the desert. Our not-for-profit wing of Club 602, Shield and Wings, is actually volunteering. We're selling 50-50 at this game. If you're in the Phoenix area and you want to get involved doing some charity work, hit us up. We would love to have you. But as far as this game, I feel really bad for the Cardinals because the Rams are going to be pissed. They obviously coming off a real interesting loss to the Panthers. We've talked about this Panthers team a lot this year. I think the Rams are going to beat the ever-living shit out of the Cardinals as payback for that Panthers game.
I do not disagree with you. I think that the Cardinals just aren't healthy enough, even if they wanted to be. If they were hoping to be like to sit in this game and be strong in this game, I just don't see it. But realistically, it's definitely the Rams game to lose. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I'm really excited to watch the game.
Ugly. It's gonna be
I'm
ugly.
really excited to be part of the game. I'm really excited to watch the game and to volunteer as part of Shield and Wings, to be part of something bigger than myself and to contribute to my community. I'm also not looking forward to the Cardinals getting pounded into the ground.
We got to
you
work
know what?
fast, man. We might not sell any 50-50 tickets in the third quarter because there's not going to be anybody left.
I'm selling all the tickets. I'm gonna be like, look, if you win money, you can get season tickets to the Rams.
Just drive to LA, see a real football team play.
Nah, you get the Frontier Go Wild Pass, no plug. And then you get cheap tickets back and forth from LA, and you just fly there. No one's driving 6 hours every week. You just fly. It's fine.
Man, you ever see when the Dodgers come to town to play the Diamondbacks?
Oh my
It's
goodness,
all
it's a
blue.
full stadium, bro. I mean, honestly, I'm a Cubs fan, so it's the same thing happens here for Cubs, and they're not even flying in. They just live here.
Yeah, we're all just here.
We're all just
Bengals Bills is the game that gets flexed out up into the noon slot, but we have them here. Buffalo 5.5-point favorite. The only story that matters is that Burrow is back, and he's talking about playoffs. So it's possible, I guess. This Bengals team sucks with Joe Burrow. So
Hear me out. I am betting on the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, the curse of Haley is alive and kicking, man. This Bills team does not look right. They just don't look good.
Imagine being Josh Allen and coming off an MVP season, and you got a Pro Bowl running back, and your team starts the season looking real clean, and suddenly you take one L, and then you take another L, and you take another L. Then this kid who dethroned you a couple years ago went to the Super Bowl. You haven't even been to a Super Bowl yet. Pops up and says, "Hey, I'm ready to take my team to the playoffs." And you're like, "Holy shit. I think Josh Allen is cooked. I'm done. I've always been done on Josh Allen. Go to any other team, have a better coach, whatever you want to call it. A loser's a loser."
They still have James Cook, and I think that might be enough to beat the Bengals, even if Josh Allen has a poor game.
Say what you want, but James Cook versus Chase Brown isn't that far off. I'm just saying, James Cook versus Chase Brown isn't that far off.
Fair.
And the receiver core is significantly better. So now you're really talking about whose defense is going to play better. And you tell me if the Bills' defense is really that much better than the Bengals' defense. You see you picking up what I'm putting down here?
So I think what concerns me is that Josh Allen plays down to his competition pretty regularly. So if I'm right and the Bengals suck, it means they can win this game. And if I'm wrong and the Bengals are good, Josh Allen will have 4 passing touchdowns, 300 yards on them, and they'll win. So I'm confused about how to pick this game, because I truly think the Bengals are bad. I think Joe Burrow should not be trying to come back in a season that doesn't really mean much. But in the same breath, they're only 2 games out of first place behind a Ravens team and a Steelers team that we just trashed on 10 minutes ago.
And we're going to play each other, the game could end in a fucking tie. God, what?
I'd love that. I think the Bills win this game. But if I close my eyes and don't watch and you feed me just like a random box score, I'd believe anything you put in front of me. Anything you put in front of me, either way.
I want to take the Bengals in this game. So I guess this is one of our first counters. I'm taking the Bengals in this game.
Yeah, I can't not take the Bills.
Why not?
On pedigree.
Why not?
On pedigree.
Why not?
They're better. They're better.
Josh Allen has almost 3,000 passing yards, and it doesn't matter. Joe Burrow's going to come in. He's going to play like he's going to play as he hasn't played all season, because he fucking hasn't. And he's going to be fresh. He's got fresh legs. He's hungry. He just wants to play. This guy just wants to play. He's like what happens when Tua has both eyes open. It's crazy.
I got to pick the Bills, but like I said, you could literally show me any outcome. And
imagine being the Bills. Imagine being the Bills and losing 2 of the last 4. Then losing this game against the Bengals, playing the Patriots next, and then the Browns, who you should fucking beat. Then losing to the Eagles, and then playing the Jets to close out the season potentially.
Losing to the Jets because
the
Jets win that game.
And it actually means something. That's what I mean, dude. It's gonna be hilarious. Gonna be hilarious.
All right. Sunday night football. Let me say some nice things. The Texans are only one game out of the lead in the AFC South.
Woo!
The Texans as a team look good. They're performing well as an offensive unit, as a defensive unit. Their special teams has been clean. I think the Texans can win this game. Yes. However, CJ Stroud is awful. He's a horrible player. He's a bad quarterback. I have no idea how they beat the Colts. Like I said, the defense has looked good. I don't understand it. And I hate that they won that game because they shouldn't have. And it screws up my narrative because they would have won that game with Davis Mills. And Stroud comes in and looks like Jordan Love on a bad day. And they still find a way to beat the Colts. And it's driving me insane, Sean.
I'm sorry, Rick. I told you. Look, at the end of the day, some teams just play each other well. I felt like the Texans over the past few years have played pretty decently against the Colts. And that showed last week. I will say this. I think that CJ Stroud makes this team a playoff caliber team. I know you think that Davis Mills is the second coming of Jesus Shuttlesworth. But at the end of the day, I think that CJ Stroud is a better quarterback, and I think that when they give him the opportunity to stay on his feet and to make plays, he's the most valuable, successful quarterback that they have on that team. And so I think this week Texans absolutely have the opportunity and the ability to beat the Chiefs. But the Chiefs are 5-1 at home. People don't tend to win at Arrowhead. Definitely not this season. So we're looking at a Texans team who's coming off a high, beating a divisional opponent, but they're not playing that far away from where they were playing before, right? So, I mean, are they going to play any worse? I don't know. If they play the same game against a Chiefs team that's very hungry, just trying to stay in the playoff race, but we're just not seeing the greatest execution from them. Obviously they take an L to the Cowboys last week. We saw good football, but your defense can't give up 31 points. They just can't.
We're seeing Patrick Mahomes have one of his better statistical years. And 100%. What concerns me is that it's indicative of horrific defense, because the only reason Patrick Mahomes has to put up stats is if they're chasing. And the Texans defense is better than the Cowboys defense is. And the Texans offense, I think, is comparable to the version of the Cowboys offense the Chiefs saw last week. So obviously it's a different set of circumstances, right? But let's make an argument for Stroud, right? It's his second game back. Maybe he's a little rusty last week. That's why we see them hand the ball off to Nico Collins at the 7. It's not because he's a dirtbag quarterback. It's because he was rusty. I think the way to beat the Chiefs is so obvious. Everyone in the league knows it, and they've been doing it. And Mahomes won't be able to throw on the Texans the way he was able to throw on the Cowboys. So if the Texans can get the lead early and put them in that situation, I think the Texans win this game going away. If they can't get on the board in the first quarter, it's still Patrick Mahomes. He's still the best quarterback of all time. I think that he can win a game on his own, but not if they're chasing the way they were against the Cowboys.
You are 100% correct. The Chiefs need to get up. The Chiefs are not a good team playing from behind this season. They were really good in previous seasons. It got them where they needed to be, but it's just not part of who they are right now. Their defense isn't capable of holding teams, and so they need to be playing from a lead. So if we see the Texans falter early in the games, I think the Chiefs have the best chance of getting a win here. But if the Texans come out strong if they come out full strength, if they come out healthy, if they come out fast, if they come out and put points up on the Chiefs early, which they can do, it'll be a tough game for the Chiefs to win. Very tough game.
Really, really important game for Monday Night Football. Eagles are reeling, and the Chargers have kind of been reeling all year. I think it's a fair way to put it. What a weird matchup for two teams.
8-14
that we thought were, powerhouses in their respective conferences and are still, no matter how you slice it, going to the playoffs. What do you have for Monday Night Football?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But hear me out. Before we shoot these teams in the foot, both of them are. I mean, obviously, New England's having an incredible season, but as far between them and Denver, they are very, very, very strong teams in their division and strong teams in their conference. Both of them. I mean, honestly, the Chargers have a chance if you can do something with Denver and catch them toward the end. Good luck, but they have a chance to be a 3 seed. Eagles feeling close to the same thing. And so 2-3 seeds, not doing too bad. 2 seed gets you a bye.
No, only one bye now.
Oh, no, only one. Sorry. 1 gets you a bye. 2 seed gets you an easier game, typically against a 7 at home. 1 gets you a bye. There's nothing you can do about that if you're not one of these 2 teams. You're not looking like the Bears or the Rams. You're probably not getting that. Or Seattle, who's very, very, very close there. And so realistically, the Eagles and the Chargers have to win this game. And they don't have to win this game. They need to show that they're really, really, really those powerhouse teams that we expected to be at the beginning of the season by closing out the seasons really, really playing well. Obviously, New England, best team in football. Broncos, number 2 in my opinion. Rams, 3. I think that the Eagles' offense has been reeling. If their offense steps it up, they're the best team in football. Personally, if their offense steps it up, they are the best team in football. Because if their offense steps it up, their defenses have to spend so much time on the field, and they can use those pass rushers the way they want to use them, which frees up their secondary to be much more liberal about how they play. So I think that if their offense stops playing like shit, it'll make the whole team play better. Personal opinion.
Yeah, no Jalen Carter. You have been the staunchest supporter of a quarterback a lot of people see issues with.
Look at his numbers. Realistically, look at his numbers.
Well, but look at his numbers, but look at their record.
The record is good. Talking shit about it. The record's good. I mean, are they not 1 game out of first place?
I mean, they are first place in their division.
They're first in their division, but they are 1 game out of first place in the NFC.
I think it's not sustainable. They lost to the Broncos. They lost to the Cowboys. They lost to the Bears. Those are conceptually playoff or playoff adjacent teams. Those aren't what I'm worried about. I'm worried about 10 points against the Packers. I'm worried about 16 points against the Lions. Something has changed with this team in the last month.
Play calling is trash.
And that's not going to change. So they have to be able to overcome it. And I don't know that they can. I don't know that they have the skill on the lines to get this done. They turned over so many players. And now with the injuries they have on the offensive and defensive lines, I don't know that this Eagles team, right? The one we saw last week, the one we saw the week before, the one we're going to see this week. I don't think that Eagles team is a playoff team. And they need the past 3 weeks, right? This Eagles team that's 0-2 going into a game against the Chargers. Those personnel groupings, that offensive production, that defensive production, that Eagles team, I'm saying I don't think is a playoff team.
You're right.
And they're running out of time. They are in first place. Yes. We just talked about how a team we both hate, the Cowboys, could potentially win the division. I mean, they need to beat the Chargers. They need to beat the Raiders. They have to take 2 of 2 from the Commanders. And it starts this week, and nothing has changed from the 15-point loss, 15 points scored loss against the Bears. Nothing has changed in the week.
I'm going to tell you right now, their defense is good enough to beat the Commanders twice and the Raiders. They just are. So realistically, we're talking about a team that needs to get it together against the Chargers today. And that's it.
They can beat Mariota. Can they beat Jaden Daniels?
This week. Yes. Yes. We're not talking about Jaden Daniels, who had an entire season to get to the point where he beat them in a game where they were up by so many points that they stopped playing strong. What are we talking about here? They lost to the Commanders.
I think Jalen Carter is the difference.
No, sir. No.
Who gets after Jaden Daniels? Who's going to get after Jaden Daniels?
Are you sure? On the Eagles team? Jordan Davis
is going to get doubled every single play.
Let me finish. I'm literally naming their defensive linemen: Jalen Hunt, Jalen Phillips.
If Jalen Carter doesn't play in those Washington games, they have less than 2.5 sacks total in those 2 games.
You're insane. They have at least 3 sacks in those games. I'm saying probably 3.5
in both combined.
You said less than 2. Oh, you're nuts. I'm talking about each game. You really okay? I tell you
Jalen Carter's probably done for the year.
I'll take that bet. I'll take it. Put it on the books. If they lose that this way, if they don't, you said less than 2.5 in both games. Okay, I'll take it. Put it down.
If Jalen Carter's done, the Eagles are done. They're going to lose Monday night against the Chargers.
Okay. And you think the whole defense is predicated on Jalen Carter? Okay.
No, but we know their secondary's weak. We know their pass rush is questionable. Look at week 1 against the Cowboys when Jalen Carter, who's a man-child, spit on Dak Prescott and missed the game. They got torched by Dak.
Let me tell you right now, it's very different a player not playing in the game versus a player being out and being able to scheme without him in that place.
When you're moving players, this Eagles defense is not that good without their best player.
Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are the anchors of this defense. You are 100% correct. But I'm telling you, the drop-off with how many guys that they rush from the defensive line, the drop-off is significantly different when you talk about having an entire week of having guys playing spots and scheme and work this and that, and then having to change that because something happens at the beginning of the game. If they know ahead of time, they can work with some of those guys. They can adjust.
Eagles defense
can't adjust. Okay, fair enough. Can't argue against that. Can't argue against that statement.
I mean, if you look at the stats, if you look at the games, they were very successful on defense. And Jalen Carter's been playing hurt. And the reason he's playing hurt is because they know with him out of the game, they are completely inept on the defensive line. They need him in there to make it work.
You don't think Jordan Davis is good in defense?
It's not about one guy being good.
But what happens is you adjust to make that guy in the best position to be successful. So maybe you don't put Jordan Davis where he's at now. Maybe you move him and you move a couple other guys around. But you don't do that if Jalen Carter is playing because obviously he's an anchor in where he is. Yeah. It's the same for the Rams. Is their defensive line good now? Yeah. Guess what happened when Aaron Donald left? They had to fucking adjust. They had to figure out how to
drafted the defensive rookie of the year, Jared Verse. I mean, they replaced.
He's not Aaron Donald, but he is not Aaron Donald,
But he's the
yes,
best
he is
player on
good.
that defense.
Half the guys. I mean, every guy that you talk about was the best player on our college defense. Weren't they all playing
He's the
for
best player
Georgia?
on the Rams defense. Jared Verse.
Fair enough, but you said he drafted. You said that they drafted
Defensive rookie of the
rookie
year.
of the year.
Jared Verse was
Yeah.
the defensive rookie of the year in his first
And
year.
when they drafted him, was he that? No. When they drafted him, he was a college player.
Go
just
back,
like every other guy.
go back and watch our first show, guys.
Uh-huh.
When I picked Jared Verse to be defensive rookie of the year because it was obvious.
Because he plays well. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm 100% on board with that. But what I'm saying to you is they picked up a guy, they put him in a position, he performed well. It's not like they moved him around the entire defense all season based on somebody else. So the Eagles being able to take the time to say, okay, Jalen Carter's not playing. What is our best arrangement of these fucking 7 other defensive linemen that we rush in order to make us the most successful? But you don't do that if the guy you expected to play is supposed to be playing today, and then he spits on somebody and he gets kicked out of the game. So that's what I'm saying. Is it's
the
different.
Chargers are Chargers are a great matchup for this because
it is.
They have no offensive line to speak of. So I think it's weakness against weakness with Carter out, and the Eagles should win this game. If they're the team that you think they are, the Eagles should win this game by a touchdown easily. They're 6.5 point.
I think that they need to
2.5.
Football.
It's only 2.5.
Yeah, well, we're playing at home. You know, the Chargers are playing at home, so that always plays a factor into the game. We're not talking about playing in the cold in Philly. We're talking about a hostile environment for Philly and a favorable environment for the Chargers. But I think realistically, the Chargers also have a strong defensive front four that they are hoping to play. We're talking about a team that is also hungry, one that's still chasing the Broncos, and so they want to win out. And they also want to solidify themselves as one of the perennial top-tier football teams in the NFL, and that's why they're going to play as best of the game as they can this week against the Philadelphia Eagles, defending champions. Every team that plays Philadelphia is going to play like they're playing against the defending champions, regardless of whether or not Philadelphia is going to play like they're defending champions. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a hard game to win.
I would love to argue that, but we have to let the viewers get to the Thursday night football game. Put a pin in that because I want to argue that with you. We'll talk more Eagles on the next episode. Thanks for joining us. Special Thursday edition of Yelling and Screaming. You got 5 minutes to quick make some food, plant your ass in front of the TV, enjoy Thursday night football. Sean, you got anything else?
I'm excited for this week. Shout out to Sark for setting us up, shielding wings, and making sure that we can contribute to our community. Contribute to your community whenever you can. Be part of the change. Be part of the contributions to where you live and the people that you love and care for. And hope to talk to you guys next week.
Hell yeah. St. Brown is in. Check your lineups. Good luck in your fantasy playoffs. We'll see you next week, normal time. Peace out, y'all.